Hello and welcome back to another Understand Your Buy video. In this video, we're looking at the misspelt domain effect. So what is it? If the name of your business, product or service isn't easy to read, write or spell, then you might be losing potential buyers and website visitors who are going to be misspelling your domain name, your website address. If your name has a common misspelling, then it makes sense to own the .com domain name so you capture the opportunity. So for example, if we take the name Stephen, that can be spelt with a PH or with a V. So in this example, we would look to capture both of those domain names. So whether you spell it with a PH or with a V, you're going to end up in the right place. How does it work? Well, it works because most people are busy, lazy, looking for the easiest option. Even when you literally spell something out to somebody, they can still get it wrong. So it makes sense to have a little safety net in there that's going to catch people when they enter your domain name and spell it how they think it should be spelt. So how can you use it? You may already be aware that people struggle with your name, or you might have to literally spell out to people every time you talk to them, oh yeah, that's James with a Z.com or whatever it happens to be. But there's some common issues people are facing here. The first one is hard to spell words like fuchsia or diarrhea, words where people are going to flinch when they're spelling it. If you look at the common misspellings of those words and seek to get the domain names for that, that's going to help with your safety net. Another common thing is letter and number swapping. If we're using the concept of to go, is that TOGO, to go, or is that number 2 GO? So it makes sense, if possible, to have the name, the domain name, the website address that incorporates both those things. The same for abbreviations. U, is it just the letter U, or is it the word YOU? And again, if possible, grab both the domain names so we just don't have this issue of somebody misspelling it and not finding us. For the sake of a few pounds a year for a domain name, we're going to capture the business. And the final thing is deliberate misspelling. So sometimes people deliberately misspell words to create unique, cool brand names, which I totally understand, and I know why people do that. But if you have a deliberate misspelling of a word, it can make things really, really tricky. So if you can have the traditional spelling of the word, that will also help you with this safety net. And the final thing I want to say about domain names, in particular website addresses, is that from my experience working with hundreds and hundreds of Clear Sales Message clients, buyers guess in .com. So whilst you might have .co.uk, .org, .io, or whatever works for your business or your company, if you don't have the .com, then you might be missing out on people in the first place because they actually misspell the last part of the domain name and they would guess that they could find me at clearsalesmessage.com. Oh, but actually it's clearsalesmessage.james or something random. So the final thing to remember is people guessing.com. So I would always advise my clients and students to secure the .com name where possible. So that's the concept of having a misspelt domain name. If there's a common misspelling of the name of your business, your product or your service, then it makes sense to own the misspelt domain permutations as a catch-all to ensure it's not a barrier for your visitors finding you online.
Well, that's it for another Understand Your Buyer video. And if you like this kind of stuff, then you'll definitely like the book, which you can buy at understandyourbuyer.com.